Hey guys, welcome back to day 7 of our Shadow Prompt Journal series. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you have caught days 1 through 6. If you haven't, you can stop this and go back and catch those and get caught up when you can. I'm going to be perfectly honest and real today. I did not feel like recording this video. I was afraid that I was going to get emotional. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed today with some of my own emotional stuff. It's dreary here. I was not feeling it and I didn't feel like showing up, but it's important for us to show up for ourselves. And I think it was important for you to see me in my vulnerabilities. So here I am. You're going to see me looking at a list over here. I have notes so that I will not ramble and hopefully keep my composure. But I did want to take a moment to address the fact that I'm feeling that way because I want you to keep in mind that it's really normal to feel completely overwhelmed by this work. It's going to bring up a lot of things you're going to need to process. And especially if this is first time shadow work for you, it's going to be a lot. So if you're feeling a little emotional and a little overwhelmed, I want you to be able to hold space for yourself. Take a break and come back when you're ready. You don't have to complete this in 30 days. You can complete it in 30 weeks or 15 days if you want to jump ahead and it's just not bothering you. There's really no set of rules on your own healing. You are in charge of that. So that being said, we're going to be here when you come back if you need to take a little break. If you need to reach out and get some support, I'm here for that as well. That being said, let's take a nice deep breath in and out. And let's get right into day 7. Today we are going to talk about do you have healthy boundaries in your relationships? Is there a particular relationship that you feel you could benefit from stronger boundaries? And what is preventing you from having the courage to hold that space? And very importantly, can you, with all honesty, say that you respect other people's boundaries in your relationships? Are you someone who can respect a boundary that someone gives you? First of all, let's talk about what a boundary is. A boundary is when you're able to be honest with someone and say, hey, when you do X, I feel Y, and I would really appreciate it if you would not do X anymore. Or I don't like when this happens to me, and I'm not going to allow you to do that to me anymore. And I'm just letting you know that if that happens again, this is going to be the consequence of that. So that's what a healthy boundary kind of looks like. I want to be really clear that setting a boundary is definitely not telling someone else how they're going to show up for you. You get to pick your boundaries and determine how you let people receive them, and other people get to pick their boundaries. And so it's not trying to manipulate situations using boundaries. That's really important. Do I have healthy boundaries in my relationships? I do have healthy boundaries in my relationships, more now than I ever have. I would say I did not used to have boundaries at all in my relationships. I tended to be a little codependent. I think that probably came from being taught in, I talk a lot about religious trauma. I was really taught that a woman was supposed to be meek and mild and never speak up and always be agreeable. And I think that really did not set a good tone for boundaries. And so I'm getting a lot better about that. I also think that my lack of boundaries is because of love. And I think that's true for a lot of people. We think love looks like not setting boundaries because you want to please someone else. I am definitely a people pleaser, and you want to love people at their messiest. You want to give them chances and let them be human. But you have to remember that loving someone at their messiest is great. That's a wonderful quality, and that's absolutely something you should have in your relationships. But loving people at their messiest also means you. So you have to love yourself enough to have boundaries with other people. Let's see, what is preventing you from having the courage to hold that space? I would say for a lot of people, and me included, it's hurting other people's feelings. You don't want to hurt someone by telling them no. You don't want to, disappoint someone. and you can have healthy boundaries and love people at the same time. I think it's really important for people to realize that a lack of boundaries is very much a codependent versus co-regulate. So I wanted to talk a little bit about codependency is where I expect you to regulate me. My emotions, I expect you to regulate my emotions. If I'm feeling sad, I expect you to bring me joy. If I'm feeling joyful, I expect you to join me in my joyfulness. So that codependency, and it's me pouring myself completely out for another person so that I can try and fix them. That's a lot of what codependency looks like in a very small nutshell. It's much bigger than that, but that's just a taste of what that is. That versus co-regulating, which is let me sit with you, let me hold your hands. We're going to breathe together. We're going to relax together. You're going to tell me how you're feeling, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to hold space with you, and I'm going to help you while you regulate yourself. So you can sit with someone you can please someone by sitting with them without needing to regulate them or fix them. And that was something that took me a really long time and lots of boundaries to learn. You're not responsible for another person's view of the world. You can show up for them, but you are not responsible for carrying them completely. So the last part is, can you say with all honesty that you respect boundaries in others? I'm working on it. I don't think I have it completely right. I would say that one of my toxic traits is being a little manipulative. I can be when I want my own way. I can tend to try and manipulate the situation so it maybe looks a certain way. I haven't done this in a really long time, but it's something that I had to work very hard on because I too can be a toxic person. It's just not looking outward all of the time. It's also looking inward. And if I'm being honest with myself, that is something that I have struggled with. And I would say we probably all struggle with. So with that, I'm going to leave you today with just a little bit of a quote that I read that I thought was really great about boundaries. It says, daring to set boundaries is about having courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. So today I will leave you with that. I hope that you will like and subscribe so that you can meet us back here for day 8, which will be tomorrow. The entire playlist, if you want to catch up on it, is going to be here, and a video that YouTube thinks you would like is here, and I will see you back here tomorrow.